Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 24-hour countdown, Jamaica braces for Hurricane Beryl. Fisher folk in southern end of the country remain on high alert. And later in sports, local sporting events face postponement due to imminent weather threat of Hurricane Beryl. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. Hurricane warning remains in effect for Jamaica as Beryl expects to bring life-threatening winds, heavy rainfall and storm surge starting tomorrow morning. Principal Director of the Met Service, Evan Thompson, says Hurricane Beryl will be a major storm as it passes the south coast of the island. Mr. Thompson says Jamaicans have less than 24 hours to prepare for the effects of the system.
We are expecting that after daybreak we should be starting to experience the rainfall from the system, and that will continue right throughout the day. Also, we're looking to experience the stronger winds. It will start with some gusts, and then gradually those gusts will become sustained winds that will reach to storm force, possibly hurricane force, especially over the southern parts of the island. All of that plus storm surge. If you look very close to the coast, you're going to be seeing where the winds are pushing the waves of the sea onto the land, and that could be also devastating for you. There are communities that have already been devastated by that kind of scenario in previous hurricanes. And so if you are anywhere along the coast, if you have structures there, be very careful to move away from the coast when the hurricane is passing.
Mr. Thompson also warns of flooding from the system.
Heavy rainfall that will produce extensive flooding across the island. That is what is likely to take place as long as the system moves close enough to Jamaica. And even if it is some distance from the island, actually, we will also have those rain bands that encircle that center. Those rain bands are going to bring lots of rainfall to the island. I'm sure that Hispaniola will be experiencing that today, and the center is not moving anywhere as close to them as it is expected to get to Jamaica.
The Education Ministry has authorized all school boards to end the summer term tomorrow instead of the previously scheduled date of Friday, July 5. This as Hurricane Beryl is to start impacting the island by tomorrow. The ministry says with weather conditions expected, schools may face unique challenges. Meanwhile, the JDF is appealing to fisherfolk to take proactive measures to secure vessels and prepare for the storm's passage.
There are some implications nationally, some national assets that will not be available once we have secured them, such as our ships. That has implications for the fisherfolk who by now will know that we have struck our base in Pedro Keys and will not be available to assist persons in search and rescue in that area until the ships have come back from hurricane avoidance. And I want to reiterate that it's very important that the fisherfolk heed the warnings.
As Hurricane Beryl draws closer to Jamaica, fisherfolk on the southern end of the island are abandoning the sea for safer shores. Fishers in Black River are taking proactive measures to protect their vessels.
Yeah, man, we have to well prepare, because we have to see if we look at contrivance, because we can't afford to buy a next one, understand that look dangerous, Yeah, man, up to last night, I listened to it, and me head to the country, so boy, I take one, I prepare my precaution.
Boat Captain Odain Campbell says this precaution is necessary, even though it comes at a significant cost. But despite the expense, fishers are taking no chances, ensuring their livelihoods are secured.
Our boat can't move from here, so I have to go move, carry them down a mosquito cove, and then the rest of them we can't move. Well, they have to try to secure them on the wharf here, so as much as possible.
We send with some of my boat them to Lucy, and I try to rig up them at 2 we can't drive. Them the two they are going to lose it as well.
Over the past years, we have a boat that is tied here, so and the man lose it, and we never find the back at all. So I have to make sure that everything haul up. As you can see over there, so you see the fish part them over there, so they haul up. So that the first we make sure we do this man, haul up the boat and put it safe.
So too are fisherfolk in Alligator Pond, South Manchester.
Most of we got sleep there, they can also fish about where they are. because 99% of the chat they get less away to catch. Expense gone. Expense more than 90% of expense gone every fisherman. Only get £7, a £3, a £5.
Howard Simpson of the National Fisheries Authority has been making the rounds in the southern belt of the island, encouraging fishers to take all necessary precautions ahead of the hurricane.
So far, we have sent out advisory from the ministry, and a lot of persons have been coming in from the Pedro and Moran Keys. And also, as you can see here in Black River, the fishers are securing their nets, retrieving their traps and bringing them back to safety on land, and also their vessel have been taken more into land.
Transport Minister Daryl Vaz is assuring the public that the necessary measures are being taken to mitigate the impact of the hurricane. Mr. Vaz says telecommunications providers Flow and Digicel have activated their emergency plans. Mr. Vaz made the announcement at a recent press cabinet media briefing.
I'm also in touch with Starling. That could give us some coverage as well, and we'll hear more from them today in terms of that. The airports working together with the airlines, and of course, we'll open until it is no longer safe to do so. JPS, they already gave us their emergency plan from the end of May, so that is in place, and of course, JUTC, which plays a critical role in relation to working with OPEM in terms of transportation to shelters, etc. That protocol is in place.
And Mr. Vaz there speaking at a media briefing on Monday. The Jamaica Public Service Company says the country should expect outages during the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Speaking on Power 106 Tuesday, Director of Corporate Communications Winsome Callum says a decision could be made to turn off the electricity based on the intensity of the storm.
We recognize that it has strengthened and a decision will be made closer to the time it impacts the island, how JPS will deal with whether we turn the power off or not. As at now, there is no plan to turn the power off. However, we are advising customers to expect power outages. While the grid is built to withstand a certain level of hurricane intensity, we will always have external conditions that will cause outages.
Test runs are currently being done on a newly installed disaster emergency communication equipment. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says the system aims to ensure seamless communication during and after the passage of the hurricane.
It is a broad-based radio telecommunication system that is spread right across the country. All 14 parishes, there are base stations that have been erected in each municipality and selected locations across the country. There are annual radios, and this system ties in the police, ties in the Jamaica Fire Brigade. So it's a broad-based communication system that is established in the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management that is manned by the Jamaica Fire Brigade. As I speak, test runs are being made on the system.
The National Works Agency says disaster preparedness efforts have been ramped up in St. Thomas. The NWA has begun critical work in the parish with attention given to flood-prone areas.
So the team in St. Thomas is on high alert, and we have actually started some critical work in the parish. In the Danvers Pen community, where we have had challenges with the river breaching the embankment, causing some problems, we have actually started the process to recreate the embankment in that space to try and mitigate the impact of any floodwaters that may come in that space.
St. Thomas has experienced severe weather flooding following in recent weather events. Other areas in the parish will also be given attention.
As you know, we have the S-chip project that is ongoing between St. Thomas and Portland. We have written to the contractor China Harbour, and we have asked them to increase their activities around the installation of drains where it is possible. All drainage features are to be completed. They are also expected to have personnel and equipment on standby to respond to any issues that may arise resulting from the ongoing works.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica stands ready to assist Caribbean countries affected by Hurricane Beryl. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada got the brunt of the powerful storm. Hurricane Beryl has claimed 2 lives, one in Grenada and one in St. Vincent, as it made landfall on Carriacou, an island part of Grenada, Monday. The storm has left a trail of destruction in its wake, with communication still disrupted on Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Grenada's Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell, warned that the death toll may rise as officials struggle to reach the affected islands. The true extent of the damage remains unknown, but reports indicate widespread devastation. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves described the situation as immense destruction. Union Island, home to around 3,000 people, has been particularly hard hit, with reports suggesting 90% of houses have been severely damaged or destroyed. The storm's impact is still being assessed, but it is clear that Hurricane Beryl has brought destruction to the region. The governments of both Grenada and St. Vincent are working to cooperate relief efforts and to provide aid to those affected. As the full extent of the damage becomes clearer, the region braces for a long recovery process. The international community is urged to provide support to these island nations in their time of need. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica is willing to assist Caribbean countries affected by Hurricane Beryl.
We stand ready to assist, providing that our resources aren't all tied up here. We have something called the DART, the Disaster Assistance Response Team, which we have deployed twice. We've deployed to Dominica, we've deployed to the Bahamas to assist. I have not, since I've been in meetings, I have not had a chance to see what the impact has been on our sister islands. I know Barbados has issued an all clear, but I haven't seen a disaster impact assessment as yet. But as soon as we get that, then we will make our statement. And even though we are in our own preparations, we are always standing by to assist. Yeah, and it's important that in terms of CDEMA, which is the Caribbean Emergency Response, Jamaica has lead response for the northwestern end.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange says it has structures in place to ensure continued operations in the event of major disruption due to Hurricane Beryl. In an interview with our news center, Managing Director of the JSE, Marlene Street Forest, said normal trading operations will be in effect today. Further afield, Denver's airport is trying something new to get people through security faster. The Transportation Security Administration is using face recognition machines there. Those machines scan government IDs for basic information, then reveal boarding information in 10 seconds. This week will be a good barometer of how well the machines work. The TSA is expecting the 4th of July holiday week to be the busiest on record at Denver's airport. Security workers screened more than 86,000 people Sunday alone. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
And time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Chairman of the Caribbean Community CARICOM Grouping President Dr. Irfan Ali of Guyana has expressed deep concern over Hurricane Beryl's impact on the Caribbean, particularly Grenada and Carriacou. The hurricane caused significant damage, though other islands like Barbados, St. Lucia and St. Vincent downgraded their warnings. Ali emphasized regional solidarity and urged coordinated relief efforts. Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados reported damage to infrastructure and the fishing industry, while Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre of St. Lucia Lucia, stressed the need for continued vigilance amid an active hurricane season. On the international scene, the U.S. and Panama signed an agreement to combat illegal migration through the Darien Gap. The U.S. will cover repatriation costs and assist with equipment and logistics for managing migrants in Panama. Panama commits to upholding international immigration agreements. President Jose Raul Mulino vowed to end Panama's role as a migrant transit country, citing humanitarian and environmental concerns in the region. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Nakinsky Robinson.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jermaine Brown.